You know, everybody talks about making money, but almost nobody talks about building power. Most people spend their entire lives chasing a paycheck, thinking that if they just save enough and work hard enough, one day they'll finally be free. But the truth is, money alone doesn't set you free. Power does. There is a very specific reason why the vast majority of society stays trapped on a financial hamster wheel, while a tiny, quiet fraction of people end up pulling all the strings. It's not about luck. And it's definitely not about who works the most hours. It comes down to a set of invisible rules that the wealthy understand, and everyone else completely ignores. So today, we are breaking down the brutal truths about wealth. We're going to show you the exact traps keeping the middle class broke, and what you absolutely must change if you want to take control of your destiny. Welcome to Oreinix, the place where future billionaires come to get inspired. Number 1, they confuse a high salary with actual wealth. Look, okay, earning a lot of money is a great starting point, but a high salary is just a bigger, shinier pair of golden handcuffs if you don't know what to do with it. Most people think that making $200,000 a year makes them rich. But if you're spending $190,000 just to maintain the lifestyle that comes with that job, you are not wealthy. You are highly paid and highly vulnerable. When you rely entirely on a salary, your income is tied to your physical presence. If you get sick, if you get fired, or if your industry shifts, that cash flow drops to zero immediately. Financial power isn't about how much money passes through your bank account every month. It's about how much money stays, compounds, and works for you when you are fast asleep. Until your assets produce more income than your labor, you are just a well-paid employee. Number 2, they stay on the wrong side of the transaction. Every time money moves, there is a consumer and a producer. Most people spend their entire lives optimized for consumption. They buy the subscription. They finance the cars. They upgrade their phones. And they pay interest to the banks. They are the engine that makes the rich wealthier. People who reach financial power sit on the other side of that table. They don't just consume content, they distribute it. They don't just pay rent, they collect it. They don't just buy products, they own shares in the companies that manufacture those products. If you want to stop struggling, you have to transition from being a perpetual consumer to being a creator, an owner, or an investor. You have to own the systems that other people rely on. Number 3, they prioritize comfort over optionality. Comfort is the ultimate silent killer of ambition. What happens to most people is they get a taste of a decent income, and they immediately use it to build a highly comfortable, yet incredibly fragile life. They get a nice apartment, a premium car lease, and fancy dinners. But what they are really buying is a high fixed cost of living. When your baseline expenses are massive, you lose your optionality. You can't take a risk on a new business idea because you have a massive mortgage to pay. You can't walk away from a toxic boss because you need health insurance. Financial power means having the ability to say no. It means keeping your overhead low enough and your assets high enough that you can pivot, take risks, and seize opportunities without panic. The average person upgrades their lifestyle. The elite upgrade their freedom. Number 4, they play defense instead of offense. Most people are terrified of losing. So they play the game of life simply trying not to go broke. They save their pennies. They avoid investments because they seem risky. And they hide their money in accounts that pay basically nothing. But here is the problem with that, okay? Inflation is a quiet tax that erodes purchasing power year after year. If you are just saving cash, you are mathematically guaranteed to lose value over time. You cannot save your way to financial power. You have to play offense. You have to take calculated risks, acquire equity, and put your capital into environments where it can multiply. Yes, investing comes with risk. But avoiding the markets entirely is the biggest risk of all. You are trading short-term emotional comfort for long-term financial irrelevance. Now, if you want to stop playing defense and actually learn how to play this game to win, you have to understand that your greatest asset is your own mind. And that is exactly why we built the Orionix app. We created an entire ecosystem designed specifically for ambitious people who want to break out of the middle-class trap inside the app. You get daily coaching sessions and masterclasses from world-renowned experts who have actually built generational wealth. They are breaking down the exact frameworks they use for negotiation, investing, and scaling businesses. It is basically a millionaire mentorship right in your pocket. And if you're serious about taking control of your future, download the Orionix app today. If you scan the QR code on screen right now, or click the link in the description, you will get an exclusive 25% off your annual membership. Invest in yourself. My friend, it is the one asset that no one can ever take away from you. All right. Moving on. Number 5. They misunderstand the true nature of debt. Society teaches us that all debt is evil, but the wealthy know that there are actually 2 completely different types of debt. And confusing them is what keeps people broke. Consumer debt is what average people use to buy things that lose value, like designer clothes, luxury vacations, or cars. That kind of debt drains your future to pay for your present. But financial power is built using strategic, asset-backed debt. The rich borrow money at low interest rates to acquire productive assets that generate cash flow and appreciate in value, like real estate or business acquisitions. The asset pays off the debt, while the owner keeps the equity and the profit. They are using other people's money to multiply their own net worth. If you don't understand leverage, you will always be working twice as hard for half the reward. Number 6. They trade time instead of building leverage. We've said it before, and we will say it again. You only have 24 hours in a day. If your only mechanism for making money is trading your physical hours for a paycheck, you have a hard ceiling on your potential. You can only work so hard before you burn out. People who achieve true financial power build leverage. They hire teams to multiply their labor. They write code or create media that can be duplicated 1,000,000 times at zero additional cost. They deploy capital that works around the clock. Leverage means disconnecting your input from your output until you find a way to make money while you sleep. You will be stuck working until you die. Number 7. They outsource their financial education. It is shocking how many otherwise intelligent people have absolutely no idea how their own money works. They hand their savings over to a traditional financial advisor, pay ridiculous management fees, and just hope for the best, or worse. They take investment advice from random influencers on the internet. Nobody is coming to save you. Okay, and nobody cares about your money as much as you do. If you want to reach financial power, you have to become financially literate. You need to understand how taxes work, how to read a basic balance sheet, what a cash flow statement tells you, and how different asset classes behave during economic cycles. Ignorance is the most expensive tax you will ever pay. Number 8. They let their environment dictate their standards. Most people inherit their financial goals from the room they sit in. If everyone around you is broke, complaining about the economy, and living paycheck to paycheck, that becomes your baseline for reality. You start to think that struggling is just the normal way of the world. But human beings are incredibly adaptable. If you put yourself in a room where people are discussing business acquisitions, scaling systems, and global investments, your brain will naturally adapt to that new standard. You cannot expect to build an extraordinary life if you surround yourself with people who accept mediocrity. You have to aggressively curate your network. Find people who force you to level up, who challenge your limiting beliefs, and who make your biggest goals look like basic starting points. Number 9. They wait for the perfect moment. Perfectionism is just procrastination wearing a suit. Most people wait for the perfect economy, the perfect business plan, or the perfect moment of inspiration before they take action. And while they are waiting, somebody else with half their talent and twice their courage is out there executing, failing, learning, and capturing the market. Financial power belongs to the people who move fast. They launch the messy product. They make imperfect investment. They start before they feel ready. The real world doesn't reward the people who have all the answers. It rewards the people who are willing to figure it out on the fly. Momentum beats perfection every single time. Number 10. They stop evolving when the market shifts. The world is changing at a breakneck speed. Industries that existed 10 years ago are being completely wiped out by automation and artificial intelligence. Most people find a lane that works, get comfortable, and then refuse to adapt when the ground shifts underneath them. They complain that the rules changed, instead of learning the new game. To maintain financial power, you have to be perpetually curious. You have to assume that whatever skill is making you money today might be obsolete tomorrow. The elite are constantly reinventing themselves. They study new technologies. They pivot their businesses. And they stay deeply paranoid about becoming irrelevant. Survival belongs to the adaptable. And since you've stuck with us until the very end, Orionixer, here is your bonus for today. The true definition of financial power is autonomy. At the end of the day, having $1 billion isn't about buying a fleet of super yachts or showing off on social media. It is about total, absolute sovereignty over your own life. Financial power means that nobody can force you to do something that violates your values. It means you don't have to laugh at a boss's bad joke. It means you can walk away from bad deals, bad relationships, and bad environments without hesitating for a single second. Power is the ability to shape reality on your own terms. It's the ultimate freedom. And that is a game worth playing. So, we want to hear from you. Which of these 10 traps do you think is holding back the most people today? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for spending some time with us today. Oreo Nixer, keep building. Keep growing. And we'll see you back here next time. Until then, take care.